Hiya!
Hello.
Welcome to the Geeky Girls Knit podcast. I'm Cece, also known as Java Pearl.
I'm Dammy, also known as Dammy's Doodles.
And we're glad to have you today. Today is Thursday, the 4th of July, 2019. Happy 4th of July to all of our U.S. viewers.
Happy Thursday to everyone else.
Exactly. Even though this won't go live until the day after, but it's okay. This is episode 352. We'd like to say a big welcome back. We love you guys, to all our returning viewers, and a big hiya to any new viewers. Thanks for giving us a shot. We hope you enjoy the show. Dammy, we don't have any people who introduce themselves into our Ravelry group this week. Why don't you tell people what they should do and why?
You should join our group on Ravelry. Just hit that join this group button at the top right of the group page and introduce yourself in our introductions thread, because you'll get a shout out on the next episode and be able to participate in all our owls and giveaways.
That is correct. Well, we have several things to talk to you about today, including the Dr. Hubs recorded a special Ask the Geeky Girl segment. So, we probably should get started. Here we go.
Now we're going to talk about what is on our needles.
So what is on your needles, Dammy?
I'm still working on my Orpheus sock. So I need to do 3 repeats of my pattern on the back of the leg, on the leg. And I'm on the third of... I need to do 5 repeats of my pattern of 12 rows. I'm on the third of 5, and then the cuff.
Okay.
Cool. This is a design I'm doing. I just need to finish the sample. It's on US 1.5, 2.5 millimeter needles. The yarn is dye 4 yarn, merino silk, and the spouting lava colorway. This was from the Golden Skein sometime.
Several years ago now. So, okay, is there anything you want to say about it other than that?
No.
It's very pretty.
So, what's on your needles?
Okay, so first up, I actually have what I'm knitting on right now. These are 8th birthday socks for my bestie's oldest son, Noah. I am using my French vanilla cappuccino sock pattern, just not putting a heel in so that they're tube socks. I'm on US 1.5, 2.5 mil needles, and the yarn is Kalispell sock in the Outland colorway and Malabrigo yarn sock in the Fresco y Seco colorway. So, one sock is done, almost done with the second sock, but let me tell you what happened. So, before I started the socks, I divided the green in half so that I could use half on one sock and half on the other.
The green, the blue.
The green, to start with. Okay. And then, as I'm knitting along on the variegated, I realized that I didn't have quite as much as I thought I had. So I knew how many grams I had of the variegated. So I put it on the scale and pulled off half of that. And so used it up all the way as much as I could. And it wasn't as long as I was wanting it to be, so I went ahead and used the rest of that half of the green. And so I did a really long cuff. I normally only do, well, even on adult socks, I only normally do 12 rows of ribbing, and this is, I think this is like 20, 21, I have it written down. So, but I was like, well, that'll help make up for some of it. So I did that, and then I cast on the other one and doing it. Last night at knitting group, I have this much left of the variegated. It's that thing when you don't, because our scale, I mean, there's different when you change the thing, units of measurement, but I weighed it in grams, and so, but it only does whole grams. It doesn't give you point, and so I have this much left. Curses. I'm not ripping out that cuff to make it longer. I will use this in a preemie hat. And so now I am using the rest of the other half of the green to finish the cuff, and then they will be done, and I can get them in the post for Noah's birthday. So I may not have them in person next time we record. I may just have a picture to show you of those. Okay, I am making really good progress on my summer top, which is a pattern by
Say it.
Ongstreak.
Ongstreak.
Okay, we're gonna go with that. It's on US 3's 3.25 mil and US 4's 3.5 mil needles, and I'm using Plymouth Yarn Linaza hand dyed in the mauve pink orange colorway, and I am now knitting in the round. So I finished the front, I finished the back, all the way through the armholes to the underarm, and then joined it in the round.
Jingle, jingle.
Jingle, jingle, yes, because there are
Sheep.
By Ann Tudor. Oops, there we go. There's a they're pink sheep, except for I have one black sheep. What I am going to do, I'll probably knit a few more rounds, on the body before I do this, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and do the rest of the sleeves and the neckband, so that I can see how much yarn I have left so that I can make it as long as probably possible, because I like my tops to be a little bit longer. So that way I'll be able to know that I don't have to like hold some back for the sleeves and the neck band. Yeah, so I'm excited about that. I'm also nearing completion on my pom-pom pop shawl, which is a pattern by Juliette Williams. It's on US 6's 4 mil needles. The two main colors are a little nitty diamond in the First I Drink the Coffee, Then I Do the Things, and the Ugh, I Need a Taco colorways. And then the contrasts are Suburban Sister Sock and the Triflers Need Not Apply colorway, and Sun Soaked Sister Everything Earth in the pink, green, rust, and taupe colorways. So, I'm into this final. So when you started, you do much wider stripes of the main color, and now I'm down here towards only 5 ridges of the main color. So I told Dammy what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish out the pattern, but I'm not going to bind off. I'm going to make the pom-poms that I need, and then I'm going to see how much yarn I have left, because if I have enough to do like, to continue like decreasing and do maybe 2 or 3 ridges of the main color with the contrasts, I'm probably going to do that because I like big shawls. And so I will see if I can make it any larger when I get to that point. So, because I still have this much of the main colors left. Mm-hmm. So I think maybe I can get another set of sections in on that. And then my last thing is my English paper piecing. So I finished this flower. It's upside down. The hearts were upside down. There we go. I finished this flower. And so I started a new one. So I'm using this yellow floral, and then I actually brought this over here so I could show y'all the fabric I'm going to use to coordinate with it. It's that, so green with pink leaves on it. Or they could be starfish. Whatever you would like to call them. So that is what will go on the outside of this one, and then the next one will be flip-flopped. So that means I have now completed 4 flowers, and I actually was trying to lay them out just to kind of get an idea to see if I could figure out how many I'm going to need to be able to do a full quilt. And I just can't visualize it yet. So hopefully once I finish this one and then the coordinating flip-flop one, that'll be 6 of these large flowers. And hopefully then I'll be able to lay it out and really figure out how many flowers I'm going to need total. So, and that's everything I'm working on. So we probably should move on to the next segment.
And now we're going to talk about her finished project.
So here is this week's preemie hat. This is number 26 for the year, which means I am halfway through the year. Mm. So 26 down, 26 to go. This is my free top-down preemie hat pattern that you can get on Ravelry. It's on US 6s, 4mm needles, and the yarn is Knitology Bouncy Worsted in the Dashboard colorway. That's the main color. And Lion Brand Heartland in the Hot Springs colorway. And I used up the last of this Dashboard colorway. And I'm getting close to having used up all of the Hot Springs as well. So with this added to my Stash Dash totals, I'm currently sitting at 10,575.4 meters completed, and I need to still do 4,424.6 meters to reach my stretch goal of 15,000. I don't think I'm going to get all the way there though. I did some math on it, and I think I might get to like around 13-ish. 14-ish maybe. But I mean, my main goal was to finish my zigzag blanket, and I did that, and that was over 9,000 meters, and I'm thrilled with that. So yeah, so that is everything I finished this week, so we should move on to the next segment. And now it's time for our favorite part of the show, Yummies. What are Yummies, Dammy?
Yummies are our current favorite things we like, things we want to talk to you about.
Yummies. So my sweet friend Mel gave me a gift. Day before yesterday. And this nice bag.
What a pair.
What a pair. Do you know what is in this bag?
I wanna.
Silicone wine glasses. Now my concern is if I go, but
you're not supposed to fill it all the way to the top with wine.
No, you're not. And it's got a pretty substantial base to it. Please don't ruin my wine glasses.
They're meant to be squished.
And I mean, it's got a pretty good width to it. So, I was telling Dammy that these would be good, like if you're going on a picnic, and then you wouldn't have to worry about breaking wine glasses. It's meant to be drank out of. Not.
You haven't washed them yet. I can do what I want.
So, I was.
Match your shirt.
They do match my shirt. I looked them up on Amazon so that I could put a link in the show notes to them. They're not available on Amazon, so I put a link to their website where they're available. But there are other brands of silicone wine glasses available on Amazon. Who knew? I didn't even know it was a thing. I didn't even know it was a thing. So I will report back after I drink out of them and let you know how it goes. Cracked me up. I had no idea that silicone wine glasses were a thing. Yeah. Okay, Dammy, what do you have to be yummy about today?
I got a bag because gosh, Hadestown was having a sale on their merchandise.
Pretty. Way down Hadestown. Way down under the ground.
I also got a shirt, but it's in the laundry because I wore it.
It's cute too. What I can't remember. What does it say?
It's just the logo.
And then what's on the back?
A kingdom will toll for us all.
Yes. Very cool. I really hope they tour.
Mm-hmm.
I already told Dammy that we are 100% going if they tour. So, some more of the songs from the OBCR dropped on Friday. Mm-hmm. The Hades Persephone songs dropped. Mm-hmm. I can't remember. Do you remember which set is supposed to drop next?
No.
I don't either. There was going to be 3 character drops. Anyway, they're good. Do we have anything else for Yummies other than our normal stuff?
No.
I don't think so. So let's talk about hashtag GGK Crafty Pad. What is it, Dammy?
It stands for Geeky Girls Knit Crafty Photo a Day Challenge. We have a list of photo prompts for each month, so you take a look at the prompt for that day, take a picture related to it, and post it anywhere you like, but we pick our favorites from Instagram.
Yes, so the July prompts list is around 4th of July, summer, and just other crafty different prompts. So that is the theme. So Dammy, what are we about to show them?
2 photos from us that we liked and 5 photos from other people that we liked.
Here come the photos. Great job! Yay! It's never too late to join in. You take a look at the prompt for the day.
Celebrate.
Today's prompt, when we're recording this, is celebrate. You interpret that however you wish. We're very cheater-friendly on this. You post it on Instagram. Make sure in your caption you use hashtag GGKCraftyPad because that's how we find your photos. You can also use hashtag GGKKittyPad, hashtag GGKPuppyPad, and hashtag GGKPuggyPad. I want to see a photo with all of those things in the photo.
Oh.
So that you could appropriately use those hashtags, all of them at once. And yours might get chosen. If you are a private account on Instagram and you're participating in GGK Crafty Pad, you need to make sure that Dammy's Doodles is following you because otherwise we can't see your photos. So, okay, upcoming events. We will be at Knitting in the Park in Allen, Washington on Sunday, the 14th of July. We will have all 3 of our books with us available for purchase. There's going to be several vendors of stuff. So if you're local, you should come check it out. The Fall Pacific Northwest Yarn Crawl is the first weekend of October. And I'm going to a knitting retreat in November, a 1-day knitting retreat. So that is all of the events that I know of right now. So let's move on to the next segment.
And now we're going to talk about what we are reading, watching, and listening to.
Yes. So what are you reading, Dammy?
We're making progress, trying to, on Good Omens by Terry Pratchett and Neil Gaiman, and The Glass Scientists, which is a webcomic by Sabrina Kutungo.
And then you picked up a couple of new books last night.
Yes, I've already read one of them.
Since you bought it?
No.
Oh, like you mean you've read it in the past?
Yes.
Okay.
Over and over.
Which ones did you get? Which one have you already read? Cool. Cool.
Yeah.
So I assume you're getting your 15 minutes in?
Yeah.
What am I referring to, Dammy?
The end. Wait, what?
The July, August, September.
Oh, yeah, June is over. I was like, what month is it? The July, August, September. RAL, read along. Because April, May, June is over now.
Yes. So this is a challenge for you to read 15 minutes a day every day. And there is a finish line post in the Ravelry group for you to post. And you earn... you can earn a coupon code and virtual badges and be entered in prizes. And we're also doing a year-long read-along where you get entries based on your seasonal reading. So, as Dammy said, April, May, June is over. So, everybody who finished in April, May, June was in the 87 to 91 out of 91 day category.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. So, why don't you give a shout out to everyone who finished with 87 plus days?
Okay. A.A. Lauzon, A. Bingham, Angie's Hip, Artsy Reevy, Crafty Mom 2010, Crafty Textile Lady, I Now Hour, Frymeister, Fuzzy Kit, Harps 57, Joe Didia, Knitter Chow, Moe's Crochet, Penny Gale, Psychohulakian, Restrauss, RMB Knitter, Share 2014, and Silver Luna 2112.
Great job, everybody. Okay, so, and you should have already received your coupon code to use in our Ravelry shop, and virtual badge was in the chatter thread, and then we used Siri to draw 4 random numbers, and each of these winners are going to get to choose one of our ebooks as their prize. So if we call your name, you need to PM me, Java Pearl, and Ravelry, and tell me which of our ebooks you would like, and we will gift that to you. You have 30 days from the day this podcast goes live to claim your prize. So, Dammy, the 4 ebook winners are
Psychohulakian, Joe Didia, Frymeister, and Knitter Chow.
Great job. So, Psychohulaki and Joe Didia, Frymeister, and Knitter Chow, PM me and let me know which ebook you would like. And as Dammy said, we've started the July, August, September RAL. So since April, May, and June is over, we have updated the entries into the year-long read-along challenge. And I have not posted those in the Ravelry group yet because I'm waiting to hear back from someone about a question that I had on her entries. But everybody who we already previously named earned at least 8 entries into the year-long giveaway. And if you did all the days, you got 10 entries. So,
Yay.
Keep going. We're not going to read the names again because it's the exact same names that we just read. So keep going. Even if you haven't been participating up till now, you can join in now and you'll still be able to earn entries into the year-long.
Yes.
And there are bonus entry potential. So all that information is in the show notes and in the Ravelry group. And let us know if you have any questions. And we will announce the 3 grand prize winners at the beginning of 2020.
Yes.
Which is only 6 months away. Okay, what I've been reading. I am still reading Mindful Eating, A Guide to Rediscovering a Healthful and Joyful Relationship with Food by Jan Chosen Bays. I am almost done with it. I will be done with it before we record again next week. So, it's been really interesting. Of course, as probably with any book, there's things that I agree with and things I don't. But it's been an interesting read. And apparently there's an updated edition, but the library did not have that. So I got this one. Okay, so I did not actually read a chapter from Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire this week.
How dare you?
Well, because Swish and Flick and All Potter podcasts that I am listening to along with Harry Potter and the Sacred Text podcast as I'm rereading the Harry Potter series, Swish and Flick had their 100th episode this week. And so it was a special episode where they talked about like their favorite memories and different things and answered questions and such. So next week we'll pick back up with the next chapter in Goblet of Fire. I also finished reading The Rescue, which is book 1 in the Ryan Decker series by Stephen Concali. I read book 1 in the Fever Wake series by Victoria Lee called The Fever King. And I read What You Did by Claire McGowan, which went a direction I was not even thinking. But these are all like mystery, thriller, suspense ones. And then I watched another Hallmark movie called Sister of the Bride. Okay. I finished watching season 1 of Instinct in time to start season 2 when it started airing on Sunday. And they reinstated Dylan. He's back able to work with the police department after.
I didn't know they uninstated him.
He was on suspension.
Oh.
Is that the right word?
Sure.
Yeah. Anyway, but he's back working now. Since I caught up with Instinct, I started to watch a new show to me. I started watching Designated Survivor, which has Kiefer Sutherland in it. I finished season 1 and I'm watching season 2. So the premise of this show is Kiefer Sutherland's character, who was the Secretary of Housing and Urban Development, was the designated survivor who did not attend the State of the Union address. And there was a terrorist attack, and the Capitol was bombed, and everybody died. All the everybody. And so he is now the president. And yeah. If you have not watched and you don't want to be spoiled, you need to plug your ears, because I'm going to tell you about this. Dammy was like, "Are you okay?" Because I was like, "Oh my gosh!" She was in the other room. So their Christmas episode of season 2, so they aired it like middle of December, and then it didn't come back until February. They killed off the First Lady as the very last part of the episode, and the president was at the hospital checking in on this baby who had to have surgery, and there was some political stuff that happened around it, so he went to check, and then he got the phone call that his wife had been killed by a drunk driver, and he like collapsed in the hospital hallway and was like screaming, and Secret Service was like, "What is going on?" And I was like, okay, well, that took a turn.
Merry Christmas.
Yeah. And so this was on, I believe it was on ABC for its first 2 seasons, and then ABC canceled it, and so Netflix picked it up for a 3rd season. I don't know if it's been been picked up for a 4th season or not. Let's just look right here on the IMDb. It doesn't say it has. The other place I can check is Wikipedia. Designated survivor. They haven't said yet, but the 3rd season just was on Netflix on June the 7th.
Okay.
So they're probably watching to see how well it does. But I've really enjoyed watching it. I'm not like a person who is interested really in politics, but for some reason I really enjoy shows like The West Wing and Designated Survivor. I don't know. Crazy. Okay, why don't you talk for a while?
We're watching series 2 of Victoria.
I think we have 3 episodes left of series 2.
It's nice. We're watching season 6 of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Fitzsimmons is going back to Earth. Yay.
Yay.
We're watching season 7 of Elementary. Reichenbach threatened Joan and every other person in Sherlock's life. Yay.
And I'm watching Good Witch season 5. It was college acceptance and rejection letter time. And they announced that season 6, they picked it up for season 6, but the girl that plays her daughter is being written out of the show because she's going to college.
Oh.
On the show. So, she's been in the show for the last 5 seasons. So, there are some people that are upset about that.
God?
Can you hear me? Explain this to me. Why would you set off fireworks during the middle of the day?
See if they work.
But you can't use them again.
Just recharge them.
Somebody was setting off fireworks this morning. We were like, it's light outside. Why are you setting off fireworks right now?
I need to let everyone know that they are free to break the law. I wonder if that's thunder.
I didn't think we were supposed to get rain today. Checking the radar.
Either that or someone's diesel engine is really
It
loud.
doesn't want to go. No, but it's got like 0 and 1%, 2% chance of rain. That's weird. My Weather Kitty app tells me it's currently 64 in Bremerton. It's overcast though.
What have you been listening to?
I have been listening to My Favorite Murder podcast because murder, and the Hadestown OBCR, which we talked about earlier. What about you?
Cabin Pressure, Kiss Me Kate, 2019. Over and over.
What was it? What was that last week, or was it this week that Pinky didn't like what you were listening to?
Oh, it was this week. It was Oklahoma.
Pinky doesn't like Oklahoma, apparently. Oklahoma. And the actress, what's her name?
Ali Stroker.
Yes. Who is in Oklahoma, was in Instinct
A couple weeks ago.
Well, did I tell this story already?
I think so.
And Sutton Foster.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy who is in your profile pic on Facebook.
Terrence Mann.
He was also in it. So, there we go. All right, well, I think that is everything for what we're reading, watching, and listening to. Let's move on to the next segment. You want to say hi to the people?
No. No.
Pinky, did you know that it's the first podcast of the month?
Oh.
Do you know what happens on the first podcast of the month?
I die.
We talk about the prizes in detail. Dammy doesn't like to, but we do it anyway, Pink.
There's too many of them.
That's wonderful. We love to give away prizes. Do you want to tell us about the summer owl?
Yeah.
No,
Oh.
she does not. She would like to get down.
And go eat her wet food.
Yes. Okay, Dammy, let's start this segment.
So now we're going to talk about the June, July, August
Summertime and the living is easy.
owl. This owl started on the 1st of June and it runs through the 31st of August, and it is for any project that you can knit, crochet, weave, or spin during that time that you can convince us is related to summer. There are a couple main rules. The first is that no whips are allowed, so your project must have been begun no earlier than June 1st and then finished no later than August 31st. And then the second main rule is that each project of at least 20 yards that you finish and post in the FO thread counts as one entry. But if your project is not at least 20 yards, you need to group it in a single post with other projects that together total at least 20 yards. What?
Did you tell them about the unless?
The whips one. No earlier than June the 1st. Unless you are knitting the My Favorite Murder mystery wrap. My favorite murder mystery wrap, which you can enter as long as you finish it by the 31st of August. This is so much information.
I know it is. The final clue clue 5 will be going out tomorrow, the 5th of July. So, okay, keep going.
Okay. You can feel free to polydip in other longs that are going along during this time, as long as it fits in with those other rules. That's totally fine. We're gonna talk about our prizes.
Yes. So, do you want to start or do you want me to?
You start.
Okay. So, first up we have Audine Wools by Knit Crate Sci DK Yarn. We have 2 skeins of the Ladybug colorway. 2 winners will each win 1 skein.
We have Moda Day Sassy Stripes DK in the crayon colorway. It's 2 skeins that were donated by Trisha, who is Paz Scott.
We have stitch markers made and donated by Teresa, who is Jazzy Creations. There's the Knitting Diva one and the Made with Love one.
We have a book by D. Marie Prokop, the Shorter Things collection, and a stitch marker set to go along with it.
We also have a 2-book set by D. Marie Prokop, Tigress and On the Outward Appearance, and a stitch marker set.
We have the Out Tonight pattern by Monique Leonard that was donated by Windswept Monique.
She designed it.
Yes.
We have a baby crochet book and a skein of Double Knit Special by Stylecraft in the white colorway from Carlene, who is Carlene Page.
And we have the My Only Goal is to Just Be Rent Inspired pattern, also by Monique Leonard, Windswept Monique.
Thank you to everyone who donated a prize. If you are interested in donating one, you can PM me, Java Pearl on Ravelry, or email us at
geekygirlsknit@gmail.com.
Yes.
Okay. You must be a member of the Geeky Girls Knit podcast group on Ravelry. In order to participate, just hit that Join This Group button on the top right of the group page. There's a hashtag if you'd like to tag your projects or post on social media. It's GGK Summertime 19. The FO thread is going to be locked on the morning of the 1st of September. Then winners will be drawn for the next podcast after that, and any winners will have 30 days to claim their prize, or they forfeit it. There's a chatter thread on Ravelry where you can share your progress and talk about it. And it's also where I give shout outs to people who finish projects during the week, but I also do it here for some reason.
Because it's wonderful to hear your name mentioned on the podcast.
Yes, so I'm going to do that right now. A. Bingham, April Cox 26, Artsy Reeby, D-Door 4, DG White, Elsa and M, I Now Hour, Felipe MC, Fun Friend, Joe Jediah, Carlene Page, Keeney 1007, Knit Central, Knit Live Love, Knitter Chow, Lil Angel SG2, Nicole S, Panushka, Penny Gale, Phoenix Fire, Psycho Hulakian, Share 2014, and VT Kimmy Kim.
Great job, everybody. Keep working on those projects. You have just under 2 months to get them finished. All right, let's move on to the next segment.
And now it's time for Ask the Geeky Girls, the part of our show where you ask us things and we try to answer them.
Yes, so this week's question was for the Dr. Hubs, so we recorded it ahead of time. But, Gammy, why don't you tell us what the question is?
This week's question is from Amy, who is A. Bingham from California. To Dr. Hubs, have you found a job in your field that you love? If not, are you still looking for that dream job? If so, what is your dream job? Let's hear it from the man himself.
No, I have not found my dream job yet. The search is long, but yes, I'm still looking for my dream job. My dream job would be as a professor at a seminary or theological school, teaching theological studies and philosophy, and as well combining that with doing work in the church, particularly something like clergy development and spiritual direction. So that's because we need to be in a place like we live right now, where the climate is temperate. Mainly I'm looking for job opportunities for seminaries or schools that have online courses, because a lot of schools are developing online components to their degree programs. So there's a lot of possibilities there that I'm exploring and trying to get into. Yeah, I think a student can get a good education by doing just online. But it depends, though. One of the problems of a seminary or theological education traditionally has been that people have had to uproot, say, from a pastorate or a position in a church to go to seminary and then find a new job pastoring or in a church after that. Especially if you have enough in an area where you can build a cohort where students can do their online component plus meet face-to-face with others, I think that's the best case scenario. One of the drawbacks of online education is when you just have a bunch of individuals behind screens and they never interact with anybody else. But that's one of the issues with virtual and social media, whatnot, anyways. So I think it's possible, but I think schools and professors have to be proactive to address that. And I think there are things you can do. And one of the pluses, if you're successful in doing that, you're able to build your theological and seminary education actually closer to where churches are at, so that it helps meet their needs more closely. This was one of my things in my master's degree. I'm of the philosophy that as you get further into your education, you should rely less on lecture and more on the student's ability to research, integrate their ideas, and on the student's formation. So my favorite classes that were actually, say my master's degree, at the end of my undergrad and in my master's degree were classes where I was required to do the reading, do the research, integrate my ideas, and present them to other people and get feedback on it. and then go back and revisit that and reformulate instead of listening to a professor lecture. Now, I had great professors, and some of them were boring lectures and some of them were really great lectures, but I think students get the most out of that, especially their master's degrees, when they're required to integrate their ideas, present them, get feedback, and then go back and reformulate them. And I think that's a more interactive approach, and that's something that you can do very easily with an online format, especially if you have good video conferencing software that can accommodate a group. You can even integrate that with a real-time class somewhere else, say at the home base of the school or whatever. So, yeah. An in-person class would probably rely a little bit more on lecture, just because that format is more conducive to that, versus an online would probably rely a little less on lecture. But both would rely on immersing students in what's called primary literature almost immediately, and pretty much forcing them to have to encounter new ideas and integrate them from the start. That's how scholars are formed. And then from there, I mean, your classes will generally sort themselves into students who excel at that, other students who are in the middle, and other students who, really have trouble keeping up. And then as a professor, it's the professor's job to keep tabs on those students that are struggling and to reach out to them and offer them help, to help bring them up at least into that middle level. And I'm of the conviction that everybody can do this. The theological education is not out of reach of anybody. So it'll be a lot of reading, a lot of writing, and this is something different than what other schools do in universities. There isn't so much reading and writing, but these are, and then a lot of presenting to your peers, your ideas, and getting feedback on that. And this ability to read, write, converse, get feedback, reformulate, and do that all in the context of community is, I think it's very important, and I think that sort of thing is very important to the overall life of the church. Yeah, so class size is important. This is one of the reasons why undergrad relies more on lecture than other styles, because when you have a large class in a survey class, where everybody in the university has to take that particular class for their degree plan, the class sizes can get pretty large, and so it's lecture is it's just more conducive. And I think there would always be a place for lecture, even though it gets roundly criticized other places. I think that especially when people are sort of uninitiated and haven't developed those good research skills, there's sometimes you just have to convey good information, and lecture is the way to do that. But I think gradually we need to wean students off of depending on lecture, to where they can get their own research done and integration. Especially when you're getting towards the upper level classes in an undergrad and in a master's class, smaller class sizes are definitely preferable. And if you're going to do a good seminar type class, and I would like to do at least a cross between a lecture and seminar class. And the seminar class is the one where each student's responsible for their own research, formulating it, integrating it, presenting it, and then going back and reformulating it with the class as a whole. And smaller class sizes definitely work best with that, and I'm thinking no more than 12 to 15. 15 would be actually a lot for that. And because A lecture class is a lot of work for the professor in preparing lectures, and whereas a seminar class is a lot of work for a professor in reading everything and giving good feedback. So regardless of which way you go for the professor, there's work, and that's what a professor is there to do. But the smaller class sizes are definitely a plus, and this is an issue in universities because a lot of universities aren't filling positions, and they're cutting positions, and so that's driving the student. There's more students to less professors now, and so that's affecting a lot of this. But definitely the better student professor ratio you can get, I think the better the overall education and formational impact that you have. Amy, thanks so much for asking your question. I do appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Amy, for the question. I feel like he answered it appropriately. I had to
coax it out of him.
Otherwise, the segment would have been about 30 seconds long.
He would have just said yes, no, maybe so.
No, he would have said more than that. But anyway, if you have a question for us or for the Dr. Hubs or for Pink Pearl, and you would like to ask that, you can go to
You should post in our Ask the Geeky Girls thread and on our Ravelry group. What are you doing?
I don't know. I'm so confused because we didn't do this segment like normal. If somebody has a question for us, what should they do?
Post it in our Ask the Geeky Girls thread in our Ravelry group.
And we'll answer it in the order it came, unless there's a time-sensitive one.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's move on to the next segment. I'm sorry. I got confused. That's what happens when we don't record like we normally record. Yeah, we made it to the end. Yay. So we're going to get this edited and all that jazz, and that way we can celebrate
We're going to
the
go
4th.
eat burgers.
Yes, and have a game night.
We're going to eat in card games.
No, I think we might actually play Catan.
Well, that involves cards.
It does involve cards, that is true.
Come on.
But there is
It's a cardboard game. It's a
cardboard game or a cardboard game.
Well, the board is made out of cardboard.
What are we doing, people? What are we doing?
Thanks for watching.
Do we have any announcements other than our normal stuff?
Hadestown is great. Go see Broadway. Go also support your local theaters.
Yes. Yes. So, we will leave our normal announcements. You're making my brain so confused. We'd like to say a big thank you. We love you guys.
Remember to vote.
To everyone who supports the podcast, it's not time to vote yet.
But remember to vote!
Okay. No matter how it is you support us, we appreciate you. I don't know. I think we need more coffee. But especially a thank you to those of you who support us financially, because unfortunately it does cost money to do a podcast. There are 3 main ways you can support us financially if you're so inclined. The first is Patreon, which is a site where you pledge a certain amount a month to your favorite creatives, and you earn rewards based on the level you donate at. If you'd like to know more about that, where should they go?
Patreon.com/geekygirlsnit.
Yes, what's another way?
There's a PayPal button in the sidebar of our website if you'd like to make a one-time donation.
And we are amazon.com.co.uk and .ca affiliates. If you go to our website first and look in the sidebar or at the bottom of the show notes for the appropriate image or link to go to your Amazon, and then shop like normal, and then we earn a little money back based on what you purchase. It doesn't cost you anything extra, and it's a great way to support the podcast by doing something you would be doing anyway. With that, we're going to say goodbye. We hope you have a lovely, by the time you watch this, we hope you had a lovely 4th of July.
Or had a lovely Thursday.
Exactly. And we hope that you have a great rest of your week. Happy crafting, and we will see y'all again next time. Bye.
Bye.
is the button that makes Pinky close her eyes. Mm. And one more.
Say hello, baby.